Chapter 1, titled Authority over the Devil. Again, chapter 1, titled Authority over the Devil. One of the tactics of the devil is to make out that he is a remote, ugly, and terrifying figure. By so doing, he slips into people's lives unaware through the back door. He has always given a false impression of himself as a horrific person with horns, long pointed ears, and a forked tail. The truth is that he deviously blends into everyday life and events so that he is not noticed, except by the most discerning. The biblical picture of Satan. He is said to appear as an angel of light. He can easily deceive because he seems to be familiar and friendly. He hasn't changed since he appeared to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Then he was in such a familiar form that Eve did not suspect anything diabolical. Had Satan appeared to Eve as a horrible figure with frightening features, she would no doubt have shielded away from him. He appeared as a serpent, one of the creatures Adam and Eve had dominion over. In fact, it was Adam who gave it its name. When Satan tempts us to do evil, he uses familiar and even desirable objects or activities to lure us away from the safe haven of the will of God. Most people would run away from temptation were it not so desirable. Eve was so comfortable with the serpent that she held a long conversation with it. Since it was just she and Adam with all these animals in the garden, they must have had a way of communicating with them, which we would find incredible today. At his sinister suggestion, she took and ate of the forbidden fruit. He had managed to convince her that he was more on their side than God was. Let's face it, the serpent was in the garden long before Eve came out of Adam's side. It was easy for him to convince Eve that he knew a thing or two, and thereby lured her into his trap. Don't think that he has changed. He uses the same tactics to deceive people today. He is still the greatest counterfeiter ever known. The devil was a beautiful angel once, perhaps the most perfect and beautiful creature God ever made. He is described as the bright star of the morning. Perhaps one of the reasons for his downfall was his pride and his great beauty and perfection. Today, he still attracts people to his side through beautiful things. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life are all ways in which Satan deceives people into worshiping him and neglecting their souls.